My Place Hotels is proud to be the official hotel sponsor of Front Stretch with plush beds, in-room kitchens, and pet-friendly hotels. My Place makes for the perfect pit stop when traveling. Race fans, well, you can use the promo code Front Stretch to save 10% off your stay on any of our nationwide properties. Once again, that's 10% off nationwide, and all you got to do is use the code Front Stretch. This racing season, be sure to make My Place your place.
It's time for Bringing the Heat with Bryan Nolen.
What is going on, my fellow compadres? It is another edition of March the 26th, 2025. On this week's edition of Bringing the Heat with Bryan Nolen. Yours truly is going to be talking with a stallion among men in the NASCAR media. He is an absolute firecracker, Mr. Dalton Hopkins. He's going to be recapping everything Homestead gear, getting you ready for a plethora of things and more. And we also will have an interview with Michael James Massie Jr. III. I have another nickname for him, but I will not call him that because Trey will get mad at me. He talked with John Hunter Nemechek in Las Vegas. We're going to dive on into that interview right now in Going Into the Inferno with, this time, with Michael.
Now it's time for
Nemechek has been special today, leading just shy of 100 laps.
Hell yes, boys. Thank you, Tyler.
10th career victory. Nemechek cashes in at Vegas.
To Go Into the Inferno with Bryan.
What's going on, everybody? Michael Massie with Front Stretch, and I'm joined by the driver of the number 42 for Legacy Motor Club, John Hunter Nemechek. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. It's a wonderful day, beautiful weather here in Vegas. You like coming to Vegas? What do you think about out here?
Yeah, I definitely do. Coming out here, the food is always amazing. Can't go wrong with getting some good food. We actually just had a flyover from Nellis Air Force Base next door. So, yeah, that's what that loud noise was. But, yeah, the weather's a little chilly this time of year for us, but should put on some great racing.
That wind, man. That wind is brutal. So, I got to ask. I saw your video the other day. Had you actually heard of the Backstreet Boys?
Oh, yeah. I've heard of the Backstreet Boys. The CD player, I never had a CD player growing up. Okay. I had a DVD player, but never a CD player. So that was a new one for me. Jimmy really couldn't believe that I didn't know what a CD player was. I think I just made him feel old, which I guess is okay in the moment. But overall, it's been a really fun experience. It's been great for the publicity side, for the Backstreet Boys, for us here at Legacy Motor Club and myself. And I'm not sure if you saw the video of our crew chief, Travis Mack, but he seems like he could join the boy band with the Backstreet Boys. So excited for us to come back here in the fall and hopefully catch one of their shows at the Sphere.
Are you a good singer too? Can you sing it all?
It depends. Depends on the occasion. Let's put it that way.
Okay. If you could have, after this, if you could have any musician on your car, who would it be?
Ooh. I feel like that's kind of a tricky question. I definitely think that there's quite a few guys that I would love to have on our car. I think Avenged Sevenfold would be really cool. MGK, can't go wrong with Kells, Dustin Lynch, Snoop Dogg. I mean, okay. Snoop would be an awesome one to have.
Of course, yeah, that'd be awesome. Avenged Sevenfold, that brings me back to NASCAR Thunder 2004. Good times on that thing. So the start of this year, it's been so much better than the start of last year, right? Like, can you put your finger on what's been clicking for the team so far?
Well, it's a whole new group for me. The 42 group, there's only one mechanic that is the same from last year. There's guys and girls that are here on our team that were with the club at Legacy Motor Club last year, and there's a lot of new faces as well. So I feel like everyone is kind of gelling, everyone's clicking. A lot of internal processes, procedures changed, a lot of new hires, a lot of new people, and a lot of new roles, right? And we want to continue to develop that and push this team and this club really to be at the point where Jimmy wants it to be and the vision that he shares with everyone internally. And I definitely feel like we're on the path to that. I feel like there's been some really great new hires over the offseason and a lot of hard work through the offseason. So it's been a solid start. We just got to keep it up. We got to keep building really fast Toyota Camry XSEs and continue to push to get better. Phoenix was a good test for us speed-wise. Now coming into Vegas, I think that this is going to be another good test for us speed-wise at our first mile-and-a-half race for the year and see areas that we need to work, where we stack up. We already know that we're better than 2024. Just how much better is the question currently. So I feel like the execution has been good. I feel different as a driver this year as well. So I think that there's a lot of things that are clicking for us internally.
One of those new hires, you mentioned him already, Travis Mack, crew chief, future Backstreet Boy. I feel like everywhere he goes, is he back there? Did you just hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. We got a little Travis Mack laugh cameo in here. Well, so I feel like everywhere he goes, you hear like rave reviews about him. What makes him, and I know it's awkward with him over hearing what you're saying, what makes him a good crew chief?
I think that Travis has been great to work with so far. The communication skill set, he's been a car chief for years, transferred into the crew chief role a few years ago, and definitely has a lot of experience. He's a great team leader. He brings great team morale, keeps everyone pumped up, even in down moments or frustrated moments, and continues to work hard. I think when you show leadership skills like Travis has, and you show the team that you're willing to work hard and you're willing to pull everyone together and push everyone in their own certain ways, it works out. And it's been great on the communication side. Everything just kind of seems to have clicked for us so far this year. And we're only, I guess, 4 races complete so far. So we're still learning each other a little bit, but overall it's been great.
With how tough last season was for this team, like how tough was it for you to just stay positive? How do you stay positive in like a down year like that?
It's tough, right? But I think in the moment, I'm confident in what I'm capable of, and I'm confident in what the team ultimately is capable of. I put myself in a lot of bad spots last year and made some mistakes that I probably shouldn't have. And then on top of that, we had really good weeks where we had speed and other good weeks where we didn't have speed. But all in all, we're one team. We win and lose together. We're here supporting each other no matter what, and we're here to push each other as well to be better every single day. So I think with that, having a great mentality and great people around you and helping push you to be better is good. I think also last year for myself, being able to run some Xfinity races and dabble throughout the year and winning a couple of those and really running well, like it keeps your confidence up for sure. So I think that was a positive as well.
Yeah, kicked everyone's butt right here last year in Vegas, the Xfinity race. After that year, what was it like seeing Jimmy after Daytona? You guys both get top 5s, and it was like we saw emotions that we hadn't seen out of him in a while. Like just how excited he was just to finish in the top 5. Like, what was that like seeing that?
It was really neat. Being able to share that moment with Jimmy was really, really special. We had a great speed weeks with Legacy Motor Club, all in all. I'm pretty sure Eric still won the dual race in our book. But with that, Jimmy finished in 3rd, myself finished in 5th. I just hate that I didn't beat the boss man. That's the only thing about that. But great to share that moment with Jimmy. I think for him, not really thinking about finishing that well in one of his cars or driving for himself, and that kind of coming to reality and the emotions that come with that. And he's put a lot in over the offseason for sure, a lot of thought. He's been super involved in continuing to push for the vision that he has. He's been great at everything he's done, and he definitely has the legacy as the NASCAR driver, right, of Jimmy Johnson and winning so many races and championships. And now it's time for him to create his legacy 2.0, as we say, with being the team owner.
Nice. And so we need a justice for Eric campaign, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, we should.
What's your dad up to these days? We haven't seen him. He used to be here all the time, especially when you were getting going. What's he been up to these days?
Racing still.
He's racing?
Yeah, racing. So there's a series called HSR, Historic Series Racing. So he's out running old vintage cars, historic cars around the country. I think they race 16 or 18 times a year. Taking care of cars for a lot of customers as well. Being able to work on those, take them to the racetrack, make sure they're all prepped. Working hard and still having fun.
He just can't give it up. Huh? It's like an addiction.
Yep.
And then lastly, so I got Ty Dillon next. Is there anything you want to ask him?
Cool.
Maybe like a pass it on kind of thing.
Are we going to be future in-laws?
Ooh, care to explain that one at all?
Captain, his son, and Aspen, my daughter, are in the same class at school. So they have each other at school, and I guess talk about each other quite a bit. And they have each other at the racetrack when they travel as well. So that was the joke last weekend at Phoenix. I think from Haley's mom was. I think it was Haley's mom, but from her saying, "There's your future father-in-law," telling that to Captain. So, question, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'll definitely ask him about it. So we got a little betrothal kind of thing going on, huh? Lastly, you don't have to do this if you don't want to, but do you want to sing some Backstreet Boys? I'll sing with you if you want. Travis could join too if he wants to sing.
I'll sing this. Backstreet's back. All right.
Everybody. Yeah, nice. All right, this is John Hunter Nemechek, Michael Massie. Join us next time.
Once again, that interview was presented by My Place Hotels. They are proud to be the official hotel sponsor of Front Stretch once again with plush beds, in-room kitchens, and pet-friendly hotels. My Place, they make for the perfect pit stop when you are traveling. And for us, we travel every single week. Race fans, they can use a promo code FRONTSTRETCH to save 10% off on your stay at any of our nationwide properties. Once again, 10% off, and all you got to do is use that code FRONTSTRETCH. For this racing season, be sure to make My Place your place. And right now, My Place is going to be here in the Front Stretch studio, and we're going to be diving on into what is still hot to catch up on all the latest news and notes in the world of NASCAR.
What's still hot? It's time to upgrade you on the latest news in NASCAR.
We are going to be joined right now by my fellow compadre at Pit Lane CPT. He's about dying over the bickering that me and Trey Lyle have been battling the past 10 minutes because apparently I got to be professional around here, which is half good, half bad. But, that is what it is. At Pit Lane CPT, Dalton Hopkins joined the program. How are you, buddy?
Bryan Nolen being professional.
I know.
I don't know if those two quite mix. I think Trey should just let Bryan Nolen be Bryan Nolen. And that's what the world needs more of right now.
Amen, brother. Amen. We need to be our authentic selves. And I love that. I love
every single day.
Exactly. And there are some things that I love and some things I do not love. One thing I do love is getting some different throwbacks, and Throwback Weekend is upon us in the NASCAR Cup Series. 1 week from Sunday, the annual Throwback Weekend at Darlington. A plethora of throwbacks have been announced. A couple of them, Chase Elliott, Darlington throwback honoring Ken Schrader. I'm going to talk about that in my final thought segment because that is absolutely atrocious. William Byron's going to be throwing it back to Jeff Gordon. His last ride driven in the 2015 season, which just basically means, Dalton, we're getting old as hell because 2015 was 10 years ago. And then Kyle Larson, Darlington throwback to honor Terry Labonte. That one is pretty hot, too. Did any of them catch your eye?
Yeah, the one you said just now, that Terry Labonte one. I'll tell you what, I actually scrolled through Joy Tomlinson's article. She's updating on a daily basis where she adds the new cars, the new paint schemes that are being released. That's on frontstretch.com if anybody wants to go check it out. But I was going through them earlier today, and man, I had lost a lot of hope because I saw a couple that were pretty good that we got coming up this weekend, but none of them really were just wow, But Kyle Larson, once again, that team, that number 5, bringing back another Terry Labonte scheme, I think he's best in show at the moment. And they knew they knew they had a winner too, because they went ahead, did this whole production at Darlington. They brought out Bob Parkhurst and all
Bobby
this
P.
media.
They brought out
Yeah,
Bobby P.
Bobby P out there, all this media, and they brought the old 2003 Terry Labonte win car. Like, they knew they had a winner. They knew it was hot. And then, with Chase Elliott, it was like, here's the paint scheme. We're going to post it on Twitter. All right, yay. So that one wins it so far for me. Denny Hamlin's Carl Edwards one's pretty good too.
Exactly. I mean, it's been that one. Oh yeah, that got me feeling in some type of way. Also, I'm not gonna share that, but that's okay. I love Throwback Weekend. Obviously, it's a little bit earlier in the schedule. It's in early April instead of early May, which is a little bit weird. But I love just seeing different types of throwbacks coming. And as soon as it gets announced, check out Joey Tomlinson's article, like Dalton was saying on frontstretch.com. Dalton, let's dive on into our soundbite of the week, where we hear from third place finisher at Homestead, that being in Bubba Wallace.
Well, Tony, what angered you at the end of the race? What did you take issue with?
What the hell do you think I was mad about? Dumb little runs us clear down to the infield. He wants to about everybody else, and he's the one that drives like a little. I'm going to bust his ass.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you.
And short track racing.
It's time for the sound bites of the week.
But you always haven't gotten the finishes to correspond with it. Today,
time we got one.
But today you put together a complete race. What do you take away from that?
We know we can do it, I look at Vegas, we got pinched up in the wall. According to the Blaney fans, that was my fault, though. Just not being there and not putting yourself in the right spot. And I thought today, we had to fight for it. We fired off just okay. And I said, hey, I want clean air. I want good track position. And my pit crew is solid. They got us up there, gave me a shot, had a good restart. And then it was game on from there. So just a really good weekend down here. With Columbia being on board, they're such a fun sponsor and a family sponsor, and having the Boyles down here is really, really special. So gave them a good run. Seems like when they're always in the car, they have pretty decent runs.
I may be looking too much into this, but you had the little run-in with Gregson and Logano there. In the past, like years past, maybe that would have kind of derailed things a little bit. You get upset, kind of fired up. Today it was like a blip, and it was like, okay, whatever, and you move forward. Is that an accurate assumption of you just your mentality now is just?
Yeah, I mean, I look at the situations, and I'm on the outside of them, and I get fenced by the 4. Hey, thanks. I get fenced by the 4, and then I'm on the outside of the 22, and I don't know what he does. He just gasses up, and so it's like, what are we doing? So you just race how you're raced, and it is what it is. But yeah, I think taking a deep breath and having the people around you to keep you grounded is super important. But if you want to be a jackass, I can be a jackass back.
Is today a moral victory, or are there such things as moral victories in your mind?
I'd say so. It's just good to come out of here with a little bit of weight off your shoulders and good points today. So, I truly believe in this team and the direction that we're heading, and being at the front. I'm about tired of y'all talking about the 45 each and every week. Talk about 23 a little bit.
How validating was it to, give the 5 all he could, given that he is the standard here? So.
Yeah, if I'd known he was going to go up there and pass Bowman, I think I would have fought a little bit harder. My plan was hopefully they got to racing a little bit, but I messed up, and Bowman messed up the same way I did and gave it to him. So that's what I told him. I walked up to Bowman after. I said, we both suck. So it is what it is. All in all, good day.
Once again, that was Bubba Wallace talking to reporters. A couple of good stuff that he answered from Jordan Bianchi. It definitely feels like Bubba Wallace is a little bit different this year, and we see it middle of the year, probably the end of the year, he really starts getting going. I think it's a little bit different, Dalton. This is the beginning of the season, and he's getting off these really, really strong finishes. I think it's just sooner rather than later that we see him snap that winless streak and get back into victory lane.
Yeah, I don't really know if it really is all that different from how Bubba usually acts, because this is his typical character. He's the kind of guy that likes to wear his emotions on his sleeve. I mean, especially when it comes to media, he's become very open over these last couple of years, and he knows that there is obviously some frustration there, but that doesn't mean that he is himself frustrated, or at least he's not frustrated with other people, with media or anything like that. He's just saying, I'm tired of y'all talking about the 45 car every week. It's time to talk about the 23 car, and he gave everyone a reason to this week. So I don't know if a level of confidence has changed with him. I don't think it has. It's probably the same amount of confidence, but I do think there might be a level of content with where he is right now, because even at the bullpen, I remember that on Saturday morning when he walked in, all the other drivers, I mean, Brian, you've been to these bullpens in the media center, drivers will come in and you hear a NASCAR comms person say, okay, this person, Joey Logano in the back here, and this person over here. When Bubba Wallace walked in this weekend, we got a, yo, what up, y'all? And that was Bubba Wallace. Or what up, peeps? It was something along those lines, but that was Bubba Wallace. And that, honestly, that is typical Bubba Wallace. That's how he's always acted. So, or at least that's how he's acted in the last couple of years.
What's up, peeps? The Bubba Wallace story. Yeah, I do think his victory is going to be coming sooner rather than later. I feel like his crew chief, in which Dalton Hopkins will be talking to him in a couple weeks for a feature on frontstretch.com, is making a world of difference as well. So he could be in contention for this week for all we know. So it's going to be fun to track the progression of the 23, and we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But let's dive on in now to our final thoughts and wrap this program up.
It's going to be a drag race all the way back to the start-finish line. No caution. They're side by side, right to the line. Big crash. Here they come. Checkered flag.
The checkered flag is out, and it's time for the final thoughts.
Our final thought segment is in the air. Mr. Dalton Hopkins, whatever you want to rant, rave, or anything in between, the floor is yours, my stallion.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I want to bring up, honestly, but when it comes to Martinsville, I guess we should probably talk about it, right? We should probably talk about these tires. I guess we should bring it up. I really want to talk about Throwback Weekend, but that's 2 weeks away. Like it doesn't feel quite right yet. Maybe I'll talk more about that in happy hour next week, but I do believe that Martinsville. I feel like this is going to be one of the most important races for Martinsville than we've seen in a while. And that meaning that I feel like there's been a lot of articles that have come out, a lot of talk about what did these short tracks produce anymore. And obviously every time we go to Martinsville, we just kind of hold our breath and is it going to be good? Oh man, I hope it's good. Like I hope it's not dull like it's been with the next gen car in the last few years. And I think the most interesting thing to me is has it gotten any better? And there seem to be differing opinions. Denny Hamlin says that, yeah, it feels like it's gotten better. Chase Elliott said that, yeah, it feels like he's gotten a little bit better. And Kyle Busch outright said, no, it's not any better. So, though, and you can check out those interviews on frontstretch.com. But I think the question is, what's going to change? How are we going to fix it moving forward? And more importantly, what are we changing this weekend? I mean, Brian, maybe you can tell me, is the option tire on there this weekend? I
don't think so.
I haven't heard anything about the option tire being there this weekend so far. So yeah, and Trey just confirmed with us. So I don't, why is the option tire not there? Why are we not running that this weekend? Are we just kind of like hoping that and just praying like, oh, maybe it'll be good this time? And then like, what's going to happen? We're going to go in there this weekend. Ryan Blaney's going to lead 350 out of 400 laps, and then we're going to be wondering where the hell the option tire was. So I'm hoping that's not the case, but I mean, for God's sake, like when it came to Phoenix, I felt like it felt like it's a temporary fix, like with the short track package. I know it kind of feels like a Band-Aid to a gunshot wound, but it still relieved the pressure a little bit, or maybe I should actually probably make it like, it's more like a splint, like a stint on a broken leg. Like it's still, the problem's not fixed, but it does feel a little bit better. And I feel like we should be adding that to every short track race for the rest of the year, the option tire.
I'm gonna go a little bit different. When I look at paint schemes, it's kind of like actresses in a movie. You want to watch actresses that are pretty, that are cute, that are attractive, just like paint schemes. You want to look at paint schemes that are attractive. They're hot. They're low-key fire. They're not mid. This number 9 Chase Elliott throwback makes me want to puke. It is horrendous. You got lime green, you got dark green, you got white, and it's just absolutely horrendous. It's like if someone had a giant mole on the entire side of their cheek, and they decided they were like the best movie star on the planet. No, Dalton, that was not a diss to anybody. That was just absolutely awfully ironic. I'm not saying that.
I didn't say anything.
You're trying to laugh. That wasn't a diss at all. I kind of feel bad now. But it's like they're trying. They put a prosthetic mole on their cheek because they think it's gonna look nice. Guess what? This car doesn't look nice. This car is garbage, and it's mind-boggling because we saw Chase Elliott have good throwbacks in the past, and I mean William Byron's throwback looks awesome. But I mean, maybe get an opinion or two before you release it to the public, because good God, we've seen a lot of throwbacks in our years. This one probably takes the cake as the worst one imaginable. With that being said, Dalton, last thing before we let you go, what are we gearing up to in terms of Martinsville? Sorry, my dogs are going absolutely insanity right now because it's probably their dinner time. What are you going to be looking forward to coming up in Martinsville? And unfortunately for Trey, I just looked at the weather forecast. There is a 100% chance of light rain on all day Sunday. So could it be a rain race? Could it be a postponed race? What are we going to be seeing?
I don't know what to expect, in all honesty. And I hate, I say that, but let's be honest, I think I kind of do. And think it's going to look a little bit like what the April Martinsville races have been looking like for the last 3 years. Unless somebody magically comes out and says, Goodyear has changed the tire. And like now the tires wear out a lot more. I guess they kind of did that last fall, and it was kind of an okay race, but I feel like it was drastically overshadowed by that controversy between Christopher Bell and William Byron at the end, and nobody seems to remember what the racing was like. So I don't seem to remember it being all that great. I am, however, very much looking forward to the Xfinity race on the weekend as well. So I think it's going to be a solid race, at least the Cup Series, but it's not going to be a legendary one.
Could be a doubleheader on Saturday too. A 52% chance of light rain on Friday at Martinsville. So Trey Lyles, Steven Stump, get the ponchos, get the rain gear out because it's going to be a little bit wet in Martinsville, Virginia at the Paperclip. Big thanks to Dalton Hopkins. Big thanks to John Hunter Nemechek and Michael Massie for the interviews. Big thanks to everybody that supports the program through the gears. My man Wyatt Watson's got all the latest betting odds for you. That comes out on Friday. Stock Car Scoop comes out on Sunday. Trey Lyle and yours truly co-hosted, but Caleb Barnes will be back on this upcoming Sunday. And then Dalton Hopkins, what amazing program do you and your other co-host pop on Tuesday nights live on our YouTube channel and on the podcast networks?
We do happy hour every Tuesday night. Yeah, at 7:30. We got Trey.
Oh.
Yeah. We got Trey hosts. Trey is on the mic. And then we have Michael Massie also. And next week, I gotta be honest, I don't know who we have on this upcoming week, but I know who we've got the week after, and that's gonna be a really good one. So stay tuned for that one. But also, I do want to say that I also have an interview coming out tomorrow. Brian, you put it out on this podcast a few weeks ago with Mike Skinner. I'm going to be releasing an article about that a little bit more in depth about what's going on. So that's coming out tomorrow night. So stay tuned for that as well.
It is gonna be it's gonna be fun. That is for sure. I was about to make a joke, I think that involved Trey, but I forgot it, which makes me sad because I always love to insult Trey, even though I love him to death most of the time. But at Pit Lane CPT at the Bryan Nolen, big thanks to everybody that supports the program. For Dalton Hopkins, I am Brian Timothy Dale Nolen. We'll talk with you next time here on Bring the Heat.
My Place Hotels is proud to be the official hotel partner of Front Stretch. With plush beds, in-room kitchens, and pet-friendly hotels, My Place makes for the perfect pit stop when traveling. Front Stretch fans can use promo code FRONTSTRETCH to save 10% on your stay at any of our nationwide properties. Sign up for our Stay Rewarded program to get even more savings. With My Place Hotels, don't just stay rewarded.
What's up? Michael Massie here, frontstretch.com. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button.